How are you all students? Welcome to our history class with Sultan Umar Farooq. Today we are going to study about the revolt of 1857, which is also called as India's first war of independence. We begin. Okay, so introduction. The revolt of 1857 was the first large-scale rebellion against British rule in India. It started as a sepoy mutiny but soon spread among peasants, rulers, and common people. Sepoy in the sense soldiers. So it started as a small group of soldiers and then it spread across people, rulers, and common people. This revolt was completely taken surprisingly by the British East India Company. It shook the foundation of the British East India Company. British historians called it a Sepoy mutiny, but Indian historians see it as India's first war of independence, which highlights the symbol of courage, unity among the people. Let us move to political causes. So let us see what were the political causes that led to the revolt. So, due to unfair land policies such as doctrine of lapse. So basically in doctrine of lapse क्या होता था कि if an Indian ruler died without a son heir, तो his kingdom was annexed by the British. So the Indian kings were really unhappy about this. Jhansi, Satara, Nagpur, and Awadh, these were the kingdoms were already annexed by the Britishers. Indian kings and princes lost powers and felt betrayed and humiliated. The Mughal emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar was disrespected and his title and privileges were reduced. This created anger and distrust towards British rule among the people. So now let us see the economic causes. Okay. Heavy taxation and land policies like permanent settlements ruined farmers. Okay. तो ये परमानेंट सेटलमेंट्स में क्या होता था ना कि जमींदार्स और द लैंडलॉर्ड्स were made the hierarchy owner of the lands and were made responsible for the collection of tax from the peasants. Okay. Indian handicraft industries collapsed due to British factory made goods. टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री या फिर मेटल वर्क्स कह लो these all industries began to collapse after the introduction of British made goods, which eventually resulted in the unemployment of the Indian craftsmen, peasants, and the poor people. Now, after all this, the people began to see British rule as the cause of their suffering. People were obviously angry on the British rule. The increasing unemployment and poverty was the byproduct of British policies and taxations. Social and religious causes. Okay. The British passed various laws regarding widow remarriage, conversion, sati, abolition of sati, taxation on temples and mosques. Though widow remarriage and abolition of sati had some positives in it, but the Indians thought it as an interference in their customs and rituals. People feared the British wanted to destroy Indian culture and religion. The spread of Christian missionaries created suspicion among Hindu and Muslim. Indians felt their faith and traditions were endangered. To the military causes. Okay. Indian soldiers made up most of the British army in India. तो सबसे ज्यादा जो इंडियन सब कॉन्टिनेंट में ब्रिटिश की आर्मी थी उनमें सबसे ज्यादा जो लोग थे वो इंडियंस ही थे बट दे वर पेड लेस वेजेस एंड ट्रीटेड इक्वली ठीक है promotions and respect were reserved mostly for British officers. The triggering point of the revolt was the introduction of the Enfield rifles. ठीक है These were the new type of rifles. It was believed it was believed that the bullets of these rifles contained pig and cow fat. Okay, this hurt both Hindu and Muslim sentiments deeply. So, as we all have got the background of the revolt, now let us begin how the revolt started. Okay, on the 10th of May 1857, sepoys or group of soldiers in Meerut refused to use the Enfield rifles. Okay, so they were punished for refusing, but soon rebelled and killed British officers and marched to Delhi. So after marching to Delhi, they declared or rather forced बहादुर शाह जफर as the emperor of India. फोर्स्ड मैं इसलिए कह रहा हूँ क्योंकि उस टाइम तक ना इवन द मुगल्स डिडंट हैव द पावर टू फाइट विद द ब्रिटिशर्स सो दे वर जस्ट liability and Bahadur Shah Zafar himself didn't want people to choose him as the emperor of India, but eventually he was declared as the Emperor of India, and this gave the movement a national symbol. National symbol in the sense the idea that India was fighting together. तो इस रिवोल्ट को एक नेशनल फेस मिल गया था, ठीक है. So it's spread across all over the country. The revolt spread to Delhi, Kanpur, Lucknow, Jhansi, Bareilly, and Gwalior. Across India, many heroes led local revolts such as Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi, as we all know, is known for her bravery, and Tatia Tope, he was a brilliant military strategist. Begum Hazrat Mahal, sorry, led the struggle in Lucknow. Nana Saheb led the revolt in the Kanpur, and it became a united fight for freedom. Why did the revolt fail? The revolt lacked proper organization, unity, and modern weapons among the Indians. Many Indian rulers supported the Britishers, and on the other hand, the Britishers had better army, communication, resources, modern weapons, etc. And by the end of the 1858, the revolt was completely suppressed, and Bahadur Shah Zafar was exiled to Rangoon, Myanmar. Okay, but though the revolt failed, it sowed the seeds of Indian nationalism among the people. And significance of the revolt. Okay. After the revolt, the East India Company was abolished and India came under direct control of the British Crown. So basically, earlier India was under the company rule, and after the revolt, India came direct under the direct control of British Crown. Queen Victoria's proclamation of 1858 promised no interference in Indian religion and customs, and this revolt was the beginning of a new phase in the Indian history, which is the start of modern nationalism. So with this, we come to the end of our session.